Alright, welcome to the Geogebra tutorial for the dilation and similarity exploration. So you need to open up your Geogebra math apps. You can find this Geogebra math app symbol if you go to your Chromebook keyboard right here, this little magnifying glass. If you click that button on your keyboard, it will open up your apps menu and then scroll through until you find this, and then you want to click on it and open it up. And then if your keyboard opens up down here, close that, and tapping anywhere on the screen will get rid of that little menu that was over here. We do need to set up a grid, so of course we'll use the circle triangle menu here, come over and put the grid on like that, and then I'll just reposition this a little bit here. So if you haven't done that, or you're working on that kind of as we're going along, that's great. Otherwise, pause the video now and get your screen set up on the Geogebra math app so it looks like this that you see on my screen here. Go ahead and pause now. Alright, I want to talk to you today about some tools that we're going to be using because you're going to be doing this exploration. And so one of the tools that we're going to start off with is the polygon tool. So I'm going to show you how to use that. So we're just going to click on the first option here, polygon. You'll notice that down at the bottom of the screen here, I'll go back over to highlight, down at the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you what to do with each tool. So down here it says, you can see, select all vertices, then click the first vertex again. So I want you to create the same thing I'm going to make here, whether you want to watch the video first and go and do it or try to follow along. But I'm going to do a polygon, and I'm going to click it. So you just tap to get the first anchor point. So polygon, I'm going to start here at 2, 1, and then look, you can see I get a little line going up here. I'm going to go up to 6, and then I'm going to come over here and down here to this point, and then this is so you can see I'm moving around my polygon here, and this is what they mean, click on the first vertex. Again, you got to finish off your polygon, so I'm going to click on A. And you can see here now that I have this polygon A, B, C, D in place, and I'm ready to talk about some of the information over here, which is the next thing that we want to talk about. So before I get to that, though, I want you to make sure you have this set up so that you have the same information over here and the same looking shape over here. So pause the video now and make sure that you get this shape set up, and then we'll talk in just a minute. Go ahead and pause. Alright, one of the goals of this tutorial is to help make sure that you understand this information on the left over here. So I would just kind of want to take a quick look at it. You can see that here we have the actual corners that you built the polygon out of, and the ordered pairs for those corners and what they are. This piece of information right here is a description of the entire polygon, A, B, C, D, and then you can see here is a measurement. This happens to actually be the area of the polygon, which would make sense. I'll show you in just a second, but here we're talking about, these are the actual segments. So this would be like segment that stretches between point A and point B of polygon 1, and you can see that that segment is 5 units long. So, and that's written with a lowercase a here. That matches this lowercase a right over here. So you can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. And segment B here is 3 units long, and then coming down 5, and then 3 across the bottom. So as I had mentioned, this is the area of the polygon. You can see here because it's 5 times 3, and so there's 15 units, square units in here for the area of that polygon. So just making sure that you understand how to read some of this information here. Now, one of the things you'll need to be able to do today is calculate the perimeter of a given polygon. And so we have some measurement tools. That's this menu right up here. This is our measurement menu, and if you recall before, we found slope in this menu here. But we're going to actually find a distance or length, and you'll notice again at the bottom it says distance or length. You can select points, segments, polygons, circles. So we're going to choose distance or length. So we're going to choose that option, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to select the polygon itself, and we're going to click on polygon 1. Now you'll notice that when we did that, look what happens right here. We get perimeter of polygon ABCD is 16 units long. So that would be 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. Now over here in your list of information, I want you to see something. Okay, there's 2 new boxes that have been added. Here is the informational box that just tells you the perimeter. So it's perimeter of poly 1 is equal to 16 units. And then here is the text piece of information on your screen. Now, the reason I want to point this out is because as you're doing some work today, if you find that this information is too cumbersome and it's blocking things and you don't want it on your visual anymore, all you have to do is go over here and click on this, click the little X, and it'll take away that text. But it still remains that you leave this information over here, then you know your perimeter. So that's a way that you can use your distance measuring tool here to measure the perimeter of a polygon. Another skill you're going to need today to be able to do is to measure angle measurements. And so again, under this measurement menu right here, you can see here's angle, and it says to select 3 points or 2 lines down the bottom. So if we wanted to do a particular measure, so we'll select here and let's select 3 points. So we're going to choose A and then B and then C, and look, now you can see right here, look, our angle measurement has been brought up onto our polygon here. It's marked it with a square because it's 90 degrees, so it's marked it with the right angle marker. But then look at the box over here. We've added now a box added to the bottom. Tells us that we have measured angle ABC, which would make sense that B is the vertex in the middle, right? We've talked about naming angles. It gave it a Greek letter name, so the angle measurements come up in these Greek letters. This is alpha, and so you can see the measurement of alpha is 90 degrees. We selected the 3 points A, B, and C. There are other ways that you can measure angles. It said you could also select the 2 lines that make up the angle. I want to show you that as well. So we're going to go ahead and select this line and this line here, and we're going to measure angle BAD. Now you'll notice something kind of weird happened here. Look at this, angle BAD, which beta here. The computer decided that it was going to actually measure the exterior angle here. Now that's a little weird for us. I mean, it makes sense. If this is 270 all the way around the outside, then 90 would be what's left over, but it doesn't really fit the kind of look that we want to have here. And so we're gonna change that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So over here on any of these items in the left, you can actually bring up a sub menu by right clicking. So I'm going to right click on this, and then you see I get this little sub menu that comes up here, and this allows me to do certain things like I can show the object or not show the object by clicking it on and off. I'm going to go ahead and right click to get my little menu back here. Hang on one second. Right click, get my menu back here. I want to show the object. If the writing is too much, I can always take the labeling off. See how I did that? So I can go back and put the labeling back on. But the one that's really kind of interesting here is this one, is object properties. You can use this to make some changes. So watch, I'm going to show you what to do. So you're going to right click and then come down here to object properties, and it's going to open up this whole menu over here. Now we want to focus in on this one right here, angle between, and then look, it's got some options for us. Now right now it's choosing between 0 and 360 degrees. We're giving the computer the freedom to choose which way it wants to display those angles. Well, let's limit that freedom. Let's say that the computer can only display angles between 0 and 180 degrees. If we click that option, boom, look what happened to our picture over here now. So see, now we forced it to have to measure the angle at the smallest side, somewhere between 0 and 180 degrees, and so it pushes it to the inside there. So just using that right click and changing that information here is a great way to fix some of those little details, and then you can also mess with certain other settings in here as well. And actually, when you have this menu open, whatever you have selected over here is affected by that. Like for example, watch, let's go up here and click on polygon 1. So if I click on the polygon 1 here, that's not what I want to do. Let's click on polygon 1. Why are you doing all this angle stuff? That's not what we were looking to do, was it? Let's back out of that, and back out of that, and back out of that. Alright, let's try that again. So we've got our menu open over there. We should be able to use our pointer, and let's select polygon 1. Okay, so now this object menu over here, you'll notice changed, there's no angle thing, because that's now it's affected the polygon. And you're going to be making some different polygons. Maybe you want to change the color of those, and so you can come over here into color, and then you can just pick what color you want to change your polygon to. And so there are some options for you there. There's some style options. If you want to make the border a little bit thicker or a little less thicker, you can make some certain adjustments in there. So as you're building your polygons today, if you want to play around with styling them and designing them a certain way, you can do that as well. So just to kind of give you that option of messing with the settings and your names and whatever else information that you want to show on your polygon. And that again comes from right-clicking these items over here. And again, if you're having problem stuff, maybe you always use your back keys, and you remember you can use your arrow over here, your move arrow. That kind of gives you like your selection tool, and it allows you to select things. And so good way to navigate around. Okay, so the last thing we need to talk about is this idea of dilating a shape. And so I'm going to close my menu over here, and I'm actually going to take off this second angle. Just click on that. I'm just going to remove that for now. We've just got that one angle on there, is fine for now. But so we're going to actually do a dilation of this shape. So I want to show you how to do that. We're going to use a transformation tool. That's this measurement tool's right here. And we want to dilate from a point. Now, before we can dilate from a point, we need a point. So let's go over here to the point menu. Let's grab a point, and we're going to come down here and we're going to put a point right at the origin, and that's going to be E. And you can see over here it popped up right underneath our angle, and it's the intersection of the X and the Y axis, and it's at 0, 0. That's right where we want it. We're going to dilate from 0, 0 today. So I want you to see how this is going to work. So we're going to come over here, and if you go down to dilate from a point, you'll notice that there's three things we have to do. Select an object, a center, and we have to enter a factor. One more time, look down the bottom. Select an object to dilate, then a center point, and then we have to enter a factor. So let's choose dilate from a point. We're going to choose our object over here. We're going to click on polygon 1. So we've chosen our object. Now we need to choose our point. We're going to do this E. And when we do that, you'll see that there's a window that pops up that says, please enter the factor. Let me bring my little keyboard up here. I'm going to do a factor of 2. Not 22. We don't do a factor of 22. We want to do a factor of 2. And watch what happens when we click OK. Boom, look at that. So now we've actually created another polygon. I'm not going to talk a lot about what this other polygon is and how it's related to the first one, but it is related, and that's part of the discovery that you're going to be working on today. But again, I just wanted you to see how to dilate it. Now, also, I want you to know something. Look, here's where we left off, right? Remember we left off at point E, was that intersection. There was nothing else on our list. Now, look, we have a whole bunch of information on our list here. And you'll notice that they're listed with prime markings, because that is the image. The second shape here, of course, is the image of the pre-image, and so it's got the prime markings. And here's polygon 1 prime, and so that gives you, information about that second polygon, the area, each of the segment lengths, where you would find the ordered pairs and everything after those dilations. And we're going to do multiple dilations today, so let's just do one more here real quick. And I scrolled up here so that I can have access to my original polygon 1 here. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to again do dilate from a point. I'm going to choose polygon 1. I'm going to dilate from that center point. I get my factor window. That's the sign that I did it right so far. And then I need to bring up my little keyboard. And this time we're going to do a half. So we're going to dilate it by a half as opposed to 2. I want you to see what's going to happen. Look at that. Now we created another shape, and now we have this third shape down here, and that is somehow related. And then again, look, more information. So we had finished off with polygon 1 prime. That was the bigger one. And this was the end of our list. Now we have a new pile of information on our list here. And this is going to be A prime sub 1 and then B prime sub 1. And so now that's a new piece of information given to us. And these are the ordered pairs you can see here. And then again, the third polygon 1 prime sub 1. And so now that's the next level of polygons. And again, segment lengths are all listed here as well. Okay, so it's time for you to get cracking on this worksheet. You've seen some of the tools. You can find the point tools here. Here you can find segments, rays, all kinds of things in here. This is where you find your polygons. Here's where you find your measuring tools for measuring angles or distances or areas. And you would use this to find perimeters. And then, of course, your transformation tools, dilating from a point. So you are off and running to get going on your worksheet and your dilation and similarity exploration.